Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Hari Vishwanathan and today we are reviewing episode 1 of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Okay, right off the bat, I love all the fourth wall breaking that is there. We didn't get to see too much, but whatever we got, I thought was so awesome. Be it the one at the start where she explains that she's a Hulk, or the one at the beach where she looks at the camera and says that he doesn't mean that, was all so good to see, and it just gives a unique characteristics to a protagonist and makes her different from the Hulk we know and love. And these are the small quirky things that we want from a character. We want a character to be unique, and these are the small things we remember and come to cherish of a character in any fictional story. And I think they did that really well, because in the comics also she is like that. She breaks the fourth wall multiple times. And after all, nobody wants a generic character, right? We want some depth to a character. And as we are on the topic of character, I love the chemistry between Bruce and Jen. They completely feel like they are family. All the fights and arguments they get into, all the jokes and pranks they pull on each other, all of that is really fun to watch, and I think that just elevates the aspect of this show, and it also keeps the show interesting. Also, it doesn't feel artificial or forced. It could have felt like that, but the chemistry is so good that it doesn't actually feel like it is forced. Another thing I liked was the fact that we are told straight away that she is a Hulk, and then after that we get the story of how she actually became a Hulk. And I think this is a very different and a great approach they are taking instead of the tried and tested, which I think is really smart, as it will not let the story be generic and redundant, which I think will give a little bit of a spice to a basic origin story. Also, the comedy in this show is a little bit mixed for me, at least from the first episode. Some of the jokes really made me laugh quite a lot, but some didn't quite land. By the way, all the Captain America jokes were on point. I don't think it gets any better than this. All of the Captain America jokes, especially the joke in the end credits, is awesome. You have to listen to that. And another thing which people were quite worried about before the show came out was the CGI. I can gladly say that all the CGI throughout the episode looked flawless. So all the people who thought the CGI would be bad can breathe a sigh of relief. And finally, the things that didn't quite work well. Yes, there are some things like that. Number one, of course, the jokes. Some of them didn't quite land well. So I think that is a little bit of a negative point, as they are leaning into this comedy side of a show. All the Marvel shows before this have had some dark elements to them, and this is completely leaning into a comedy. I think jokes not landing well is a little bit of a problem. Not a big problem, but a little bit of a problem. And the second is not necessarily a problem as a whole, it's just that I felt like this. So there are some moments where Jen feels a little bit rude or probably a little bit arrogant towards Bruce. That's the thing I didn't like, and I thought that could have handled a bit better. I think she was a little bit too rude, and that could be a negative point for the people who love Hulk and they may not like She-Hulk that much. And these are the things that didn't quite work for me. But overall, a solid episode and a solid start to a series, and I'm looking forward to what they do after this. What about you? Are you looking forward to the show? Did you think it was a solid start for a series, or did you think it was bad? Just let me know in the comments and I will respond to it. If you like the video, then subscribe and vote this up so that YouTube can see that you are enjoying what you're watching. Until next time, it's your host Hari Vishwanathan, and you are watching Hari Talks Fiction.